you need to know where you're going. So if you just get into the car and put your foot on the gas and start driving without a destination, you're just going to drive around in circles. And I've certainly been guilty of that throughout my career, I think. And that vision for me, though, was that Olympic Games. And when Sergey told me that story of the honour to represent your country at an Olympic Games, and when I watched it on TV for the first time in 2004 in Athens, and my dad told me about the Olympic Games and why athletes got the Olympic tattoo, that became my vision, my plan, my goal and my thing to aim towards. And my dad did something really clever when I was a kid. He printed me off a piece of paper, and it was the start of 2006. It was just after we won the bid for the Olympic Games. So I knew that in 6 years' time, the Olympic Games were going to be in London, and I'd have the chance to represent my country and go and compete in Olympic Games. And I can remember really clearly we used to drive to the gym at 6:30 in the morning. Most of the time when it was still dark, it was winter time because it was the start of that year, so it was January. It was freezing cold. I think it had snowed around that time. I can remember on the car it saying -12 on the car, and Sergey's making us do these 2 laps around this field, and I'm running around this field and I'm going, and I can remember saying to myself, I've got 6 years now to go until London 2012. I'm gonna be on that team. And I remember thinking that at 12 years old and having that clear goal and vision. And the reason that's really important is because that goal and that dream and that plan that you have, it's got to be strong enough so that on those days when it's snowing outside and it's -12, you will still get up and you'll get yourself to the gym and you'll put the work in and work hard. And I can remember that me and my training group at the time, so me, Reese, Andy, another lad called Zach, we all got this piece of paper, and we wrote on this piece of paper, London 2012, Team GB. And then we wrote all our names, and we said, we're going to be the team that goes to the London 2012 Olympics. And we basically climbed a rope in the gym at Notts, and there's a big metal steel girder, and we put this piece of paper in the girder, and we said, we'll take it down after the Olympics in 2012, once we've all been to the Olympics and won a gold medal. Which is cool. I mean, that's an amazing story of how inspired we were as kids and this big dream that we all had, and we shared it together in our group. And Sergey had probably instilled that in us and inspired us with the stories he used to tell us. But the funny thing is, I climbed up that rope not long ago to get it back down, and I left the gym at Nottingham at 14 to go down to Huntingdon to pursue my dream, this vision that I had. And I just felt that if I'd stayed in the gym, Sergey wasn't going to be able to come and visit me, and I just wasn't going to be able to achieve my dream. So we'd made this big life decision, me and my family, to move down to Huntingdon. And it wasn't well received within the club at the time. And the head coach that was left at the club, it's quite funny. I remember the last day that I had a training session in the gym at Notts, he wasn't happy I was leaving. And I was 14 years old. He took me to one side and he said, right, Sam, I don't agree with your decision. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think you're going to make it. And you're never allowed back in this gym, so take all of your stuff. And I was 14 years old when he told me this. So I went and got my bag, and all the lads were saying, Sam, why are you going? Why didn't you tell us? We would have stopped you. And I said, I know you'd try and stop me, but I've got to do this. And I was dead nervous about leaving. I was leaving home. I was going to be leaving my school, leaving all my friends at the gym. And at the time, they basically, all the lads in the gym, this is a funny story because it shows you how mean kids can be, but it's quite funny. They used to call me Voldemort. They used to call me the boy who should not be named. That's what everyone used to call me at the gym. And they must have climbed up that rope, took that piece of paper down with all our names, and they ripped my name off it, but they put it back in. So you had those guys that were still in my group on this London 2012 piece of paper, still up there, and then my name on its own. And the funny thing is that in the end, I was the one that went, and they'd ripped it up. And those guys, and they had great careers, but they never went on to go to the Olympic Games. It's just a funny story. But that clear vision is really important, and I think the gymnast that comes to mind when I think about that vision is Max.